Ahoy. It said it right. I didn't miss it. Ahoy. Welcome back to another Pirate National Committee live stream. I am your host, Jolly Mitch, captain of the United States Pirate Party from Chicagoland Nye, the Illinois Pirate Party. And as always, a friend of the show. We'll go around and go with IDs as I see them in the order I see them. And the first person I see is Blaze.
Blaze Henry, Arizona captain and United States scribe.
Thank you. Drew.
Drew Bingaman, Pennsylvania.
Thank you kindly. Mars.
Mars, Young Pirates, Treasure, and Ohio.
Ooh, fantastic. Thank you. Rowan.
Here as a backup for Illinois, just in case.
Just in case. But if our Illinois rep does not show tonight, you are free. And again, feel free to participate. Feel free to raise your hand and do whatever. As we also have two Florida reps, and they are participate as equally as the other. Speaking of, first Florida rep I see is Wanda.
Wanda Ward, Florida Pirate Party, and U.S. Pirate Party Lookout.
Thank you kindly. David.
I'm sort of emergency backup rep in Florida.
And for the record, Blaze, I do believe Wanda is the voting member tonight. Unless, David, are you? Yep, fantastic. Next I see Frank.
Frank Flores of Texas.
Thank you kindly. Let's go James.
Hello, I'm James from North Carolina.
Thank you kindly. And last but not least, I see a new face. See if that's someone I know. Phoenix. No? Well, just know that if you decide to participate later, you do have to identify yourself. However, feel free to sit in. However, if you just tend to, what's it called? Watch in on the meeting, just understand we are live streaming this one today, which is unusual. Usually this would be a open live stream in IRC week, as we used to call it, since it was on IRC. But having the Super Bowl last week, we decided to put this one on live stream. And for those of you watching at home, next week will be live streamed as well, because it's back to the normal schedule.
This, if I may interject, this might be the Colorado rep. I invited her to this meeting, but she might have a migraine. She might be in here. This might be a different person.
I beg your pardon, Blaze. What was that?
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
I believe it's the Colorado rep, Phoenix, but I'm not. She said I invited her to this meeting, but I don't know if that's her. Oh.
No problem. I appreciate it. And then I saw Reneen just popped in. Reneen, could you let them know your name and your state?
Hi, yes, you can hear me, right?
Yes.
Okay, yeah, my name is Reneen. My camera doesn't work right now for some reason. I have like a bunch of weird peripherals attached to my computer. I live in Illinois.
Perfect. That's all we need from you right now. Thank you kindly. Otherwise, folks, like I said, thank you so much for coming in. Okay, fantastic. Well, that explains the breakfast comment. Well, folks, this is a live stream meeting. Usually, like I said, this is a meeting where we would be hosting it just open to the public. It wouldn't be normally live streamed, but not having a live stream last week would have meant 3 weeks in a row without one. So we decided to have it this week. Just going on old business, I wanted to, before we jump into the motions from last week, any business we wanted to move into. This is just a discussion that I had with former captains, specifically doing business on weeks where we're not live streamed. While I understand the want and desire to move forward with a lot of business, especially when it seemed like we were going to go a long time without getting business done, there are those weeks where a lot of the executive decisions are getting made without it being in front of a camera. So that being said, we're going to have a camera on us for the next 2 weeks. We can get plenty of business done. But on those weeks where we are not live streaming, it's just an open public forum meeting. I am going to try to scale back things like bylaws changes, like we had the other week, or that we had proposed the other week, because something like a bylaws change is something that's as important as business like that shouldn't come as a surprise on the in case you missed it the next day. People need to, be aware of what's going on, be involved in what's going on, and more importantly, we want to make sure people see what decisions we make. So I'm just throwing it out there now that for the next 2 weeks, whatever business we want to get done, let's get it done. But when we're off camera, when it's just a public meeting, I do want to scale back on the idea of doing business and more so planning business on those days. Other than that, though, I don't have much in the way of updates. Me and Reneen did some canvassing for a candidate in Illinois. A candidate that if he decides to come and receive our endorsement, I would love to give it to him. I'd love for him to pitch his campaign to us. He's running in Illinois 6 for the U.S. Congress for the Democratic primary position. Sean Caston is currently the one in that position. Sean Caston takes PAC money. And we like guys that aren't corporate bought. So I'm just throwing that out there in case Joe Rusevich, who is the candidate, ever decides to join us for a meeting one of these days. But in the meantime, we have our own candidates. And to thus, I put it forward to you guys to ask if we have any updates, any news. Drew or Blaze, if you got anything to share. Drew, go ahead.
Yeah, I do. Well, petition period opens up on Tuesday. So starting Tuesday the 17th to March 10th is when I can get my signatures to get on the ballot. We have some volunteers distributing petitions to them now. Saturday and Sunday, I'm going to be spending a whole day at the whole day at two different area petition drives that are out in the public. One's at the local market house, and another one is, honestly, I don't remember off the top of my head where the other one is, but it's in a public place where a lot of people come through. So we're hoping to catch a nice chunk of signatures there. And Thursday morning, I'm going to be at a meet and greet. Let's see. Yeah. At a local coffee shop. So I'm going to be there in the morning when they've got their rush, and we'll have my petitions there too. And so things are happening. I got booked Sunday night next week, and I probably won't be here for that reason. I'm booked on a local Pennsylvania Democratic podcast that they do. So helping get the word out on the campaign that way. So I spent last weekend at the Democrat state committee meeting. I didn't participate in any of the executive stuff or the committee stuff, but lots of people to meet, lots of people to shake hands with and sit in on some of the training sessions. It was good stuff. So yeah, things are going pretty well.
Fantastic. Great updates. Thank you, Drew. I have been on the In Case You Missed It updates, been publishing your meet and greet dates and the locations, or at least the cities or municipalities they'll be in. So hopefully we got a good turnout for you, Drew. Let us know how everything goes. And
I know I posted it on the Signal chat, but I did finally get a website live and up, and we have volunteer places and places that you can donate to the campaign. So it's Drew, DREW, for FOR 108.com, Drew for 108.com. And it's nothing ridiculous or anything. It's just a couple of flat pages with some links to the Facebook page and to the donate page and volunteer Google form. So, but it gets us there, gets the message out, and somebody can stop complaining that I don't have a real website anymore. So That's it now.
Thank you, Drew. And then did you say that was 4 as in the number 4 or 4 as in FOR?
Actually, either one will take you there.
That's what I thought you said before, so I'm just making sure.
Yeah.
Either way, Drew for 108 is in the chat. So anyone who's watching this after the fact, feel free to click the link in the description or click it while you're listening to this meeting continue. Blaze, go ahead.
I guess I can give my updates. Well, it's more state party updates and campaign updates, but anyway, we had our second in-person meeting on Saturday from 4 to 5. Dustin was there, who goes by Citizen on Discord, and the person whose name I'm gonna keep silent for now, who's considering the secretary role for Arizona, was also there. We talked a lot about potential growth for the party and also campaign updates. And unfortunately, for updates on that, is that I've been out of commission this week because I've been trying to get organized a party rally for March 1st, our first party rally on March 1st. And that's taken a lot of my time out of that. But to go into that, we're having our first party rally on March 1st from 2 to 4 at an aquatic center, which is very pirate-esque for us. So it's honestly, it's too perfect for us. So obviously, we would hope to get a lot of people there. So we're going to try, we have flyers. We're going to try and advertise as much as we can everywhere, try and get as many people involved. We're going to invite a bunch of organizations as well, and even try and invite some news team to be there as well to see if they would be interested. We're going to have speakers such as myself. Food and drink is the only thing we're still mulling over. I was thinking pizza and water bottles, but we could probably do something else. I could probably make some food for the event. But yeah, that's what we have going on right now.
Fantastic. Thank you, Blaze. And obviously, in the weeks following that, you're going to receive help and volunteers with collecting signatures. The hope would be that coming out of this rally, maybe you'll have even more people that are going to be able to help.
That's the idea. That's the hope, to make a big splash for people like, yeah, we want to be here. We want to support this.
Absolutely.
Get enough attention, for sure.
And then for those of you watching at home or those of you that may not be aware, when it comes to running for office, you have a few different pathways. And as pirates, we're pursuing a few different pathways, one of which we have a Dino Rhino strategy where you may run as a Democrat or Republican for the lesser signature requirements or the easier pathway to getting onto the ballot, such as former Captain Drew Brinkman, or you may have those running as independents, such as Arizona Captain Blaze Henry, or you may have people running as pirate, which is a ballot option in Massachusetts. None of these candidates are any less pirate. These are all pirates through and through. The way in which you enter the ballot means very little, as long as you have your mission, as long as you're willing to go through with, the values of the pirate party, and you commit to running an honest campaign and not taking corporate money, and making sure you're caring about your neighbors first and foremost, and making sure that we don't run an evil government, then that's all that really matters. Drew, go ahead.
I just wanted to state for the record that getting onto the ballot in Pennsylvania as a state rep candidate is not necessarily easier as a major party. It's different. I need essentially the same amount of signatures, and it's in a shorter period of time. Although my experience is you have to do a lot more convincing as an independent to get each one signature. So we'll see how it goes here as a major party candidate. And but once you get above in Pennsylvania, once you get above state rep, the signature requirements start really going into the favor of the major parties. So from state rep on down, it's about even, and you have a lot more time to collect your signatures as an independent. But then again, you have to convince a lot more people to vote for you. It seems in my area, anyways. So
Thank you, Drew. And the word easier probably shouldn't have left my mouth. That was the natural word that came to mind. But that's, of course, coming from the perspective of someone in Illinois, where the major party candidates for state rep need about 500, versus if we ran as a third party or as an independent, we would need several thousand signatures. So my view is skewed, but however, there are pathways obviously that are still challenging. That is not to say that any pathway in particular is easy, but
and every state is different. So do your research and make sure you know which way you want to go when you're thinking about running for office, because there are states, like you said, in Illinois, there's once you get to a certain level, there's major benefits to being part of a major party, but sometimes it's might suit you to not do that and go independent. So, but yeah, research all your options because every state is different, and get out there and run for office.
absolutely. And one of the major goals should be, if you do run for office and you run for public office as a major party candidate, you should be using that opportunity to fight for the independents and the minor parties who currently, due to laws put in place by the old powers, have been kept from being viable options on the ballot, making it hard to even appear. Uh, so not only run for office, but do your part to make this country more democratic. The last thing we need to do is be less democratic as a country and become whatever path we're going on. Uh, but beside the point, I don't know if we have any more committee. I don't think we had any committee meetings. Otherwise, is there any committee news? Is there any state party news?
I already get mine.
You did. Thank you,
Marathon.
Glaze. Otherwise, I don't hear anything from anybody. Uh, why don't we go into old business? Wanda, I know you had a few things you wanted to discuss. Whichever you felt like hitting first, by all means.
Well, I feel like the only thing that really qualifies as old business was the proposed change to the bylaws.
So, yes, Wanda, if you may, could you please, since now that we have the audience of a public live stream and the people who may have missed the last meeting, could you please go over not only your rationale for the bylaws change, but also what the current wording is and what you're proposing the bylaws be changed to?
Alrighty, so right now, currently with the U.S. Pirate Party bylaws, there is no way to remove an individual officer without removing the entire board. So the current language is that um, a vote of no confidence would remove the entire board, and that requires then let me see what it was, 3/5? Yeah, 3/5 majority to pass. Um, what I was proposing isn't changing that, like that would keep that in place. But in addition to that, we would also have the option to remove an individual with a 3/5 majority as well from their position. And I have the specific text I wanted to use for it. It's the same text I sent to you a couple weeks ago, um, Mitch. I will post it in the chat.
So, based on what I am reading, the proposal is essentially that during a meeting, you may call for the removal of a officer, but it would have to be on the grounds of either failure to serve, ineligibility to serve, or misconduct. And upon second, the vote would take place right then and there. It sounds like you could the day of a meeting make the proposal and have this person removed the same day.
Yes.
Okay. Rowan, go ahead.
I know I'm talking a little bit too soon, so that I just came back, but and I think this is a great idea, by the way. So I want to first start with that. Um, but my only point where I'd maybe like just inquire or maybe like discuss is like you just what you mentioned, like the idea of it being voted the same moment, because considering that some meetings have different numbers of attendance and different people involved in said discussions, it could be while it's a great idea, to be clear, depending on the context of the call, if there's not a 3/5 pass, what it also would mean, like, so 3/5 majority to pass. Does that mean everyone in the call in that moment or meeting in the moment, or does it mean everyone that's in a office within the party or state parties? I just more clarity on that, and I'd also suggest maybe making it so there's maybe more time to vote if that's weird, but I do like to be clear. I'm not trying to dismiss the idea. I think it's a great idea.
Blaze, then Wanda.
I would assume that it's state voting members who's present in the call who would be voting on that, not just non-voting members.
To clarify, it would be 3/5 of voting members that are present. And this is basically the same wording as the vote of no confidence measure in the bylaws, just with the ability to remove an individual rather than the whole board.
Rowan, go ahead.
Thank you for the clarity. And of course, obviously voting members, not just anyone. So I just reiterate, like, I hear that that's the way it was worded previously in the bylaws as well, but I think there should be consideration for what should we call it, attendance, and to that extent, maybe if that's, well, unless I'm not reading it correctly, but just like maybe there should be a minimum level of attendance to take an action like that as an adjustment for future, like, understanding the bylaw. I don't know, just an idea, but I do think it's a great what do you call it? Gosh, revision or change. But yeah.
Drew, go ahead.
The way I understand it is we wouldn't be changing any of our regular rules on quorum. So as long as we have quorum, we should be good to proceed on a vote like this. I don't see it as anything different. Even though it would be removing an officer, I don't see it as anything different. So we'd still need quorum. So it would be there'd still be a minimum attendance requirement.
Drew, did you put your hand back up, or is that?
No.
Okay, perfect. So my stance on this one obviously was merely that I would like to have this discussion in front of a camera where everyone can see it, everyone can participate in it. I don't like the idea of a bylaws change happening, behind the scenes and people finding out about it. And in case you missed an article, I would prefer this, obviously sat down the way that it's being sat down right now. I don't think I'm opposed to this necessarily. Obviously, I know the reason being specifically, but in the grand scheme, the reason of if one person's a bad actor, why should we remove the entire board? And I understand that conceptually. Uh, I really don't have any position for or against. Obviously, if this is something the board sees fit, if this is something you guys want to go ahead with, I'm not going to put in a voice of objection. I really don't have any objection worth voicing. So by all means, I don't know if I guess technically as old business, it was on the table. So I guess it has already been seconded and discussed. So I think it would just be a matter of calling for a vote. But I'm not sure if
I
want to
believe
go.
it was not seconded. I believe we voted to push this to this meeting.
Okay, well, in that case, is there a second to the bylaws change as proposed?
Second.
Thank you. And I assume that since we've already had the discussion, would anyone just like to call for the vote?
I would like to call for a vote.
Thank you. I'll do it by roll call. Arizona,
Aye.
Ohio,
Aye.
Pennsylvania,
Aye.
Illinois. Renine, you would be tonight's voting member.
Okay, yeah, I was like, I'm not sure I understand. I.
Thank you. Florida,
Aye.
Texas,
Aye.
and then Indiana. Please ID yourself and then vote.
I was wondering if you were even going to mention me. This is Ashley Melody, the still interim member of the Indiana Pirates, and I'll be voting aye.
Perfect. With that, that sounds like a unanimous vote and a motion passed. The bylaws change has been amended so that not only is there still the vote of no confidence to remove the whole board, but there's also an option to remove singular members. Motion passes. Way to go, guys. I mean, yeah, way to go. Things moving. Is there anything else we wanted to get knocked out today in terms of old business? Yes, there is. Everyone shut up. I have it. We have 2 vacancies. We have a vacancy position for PR director, and we have a vacancy position for director of the online. Basically, our IT person's gone and our PR director's gone. Both resignations within the last 2 weeks. Both need to be filled in, I would suppose, next week. So, Wanda, I know you were kind of adamant that we get back to what the bylaws says in terms of filling in these vacancies, which I believe, if I recall correctly, is to put out the nominations or put out a excuse me.
Give me just a second. Let me find the bylaws procedure.
Yeah, let me know
For an
exactly the
officer
wording.
position which is vacated out of schedule, as soon as the vacation is possible, the position must be filled, which is through the normal mechanism. See, the election procedures shall be as follows. Officers shall be elected by Scholl's method via silent ballot. Representatives to the PNC shall be eligible to vote in the election. Prior to the election, the PNC shall elect an election committee of at least 3 persons to supervise the silent ballot and independently calculate the results.
Okay, so upon hearing that, we've done this election properly before. It's just I think we haven't done it properly every time before. But basically, during that meeting, we'd have 3 people that the PNC members would send in their vote to the 3-man council, and then we would silently count up the votes, and then we would announce who it ultimately is. And we've done that before. We did that for Swarm Care Manager one year, if I recall correctly. So that's easy enough. I suppose it would be as simple as gathering up any nominations this coming week. Next week, have whoever the nominees are, present their cases for whatever positions. If there happens to be only one nominee per position, it may be an easy thing to just fill and say, "Oh, you're the only person that wants to do it. Great, here you go." There may still be an opportunity to say none of the above on the candidates, which is an option always for voting for people. So maybe we only get one candidate and we're not sold by them. So just because you want to do it doesn't mean you get it by default if you're the only person doing it. You still have to be, I suppose, in the eyes of the board, qualified. But that said, I'm putting that out for new business for next week. We're going to fill in those 2 positions. This week, I'll make sure to put out the message not only in the Discord, but on the website and make sure that everyone knows that we are trying to fill in these spots. I'll ask Liz to update the Facebook to make sure that there's the word out there as well. And I think we have that squared away now. We should be good to go. Next week, we'll have the board members filled up. Is there anything else we needed to talk about Blaze, I know you had the list. Was there anything else I'm missing
There
from
were.
that?
Oh, sorry.
I mean, one if you have it too. Go ahead.
Yeah, there were a couple things I was going to bring up, and this was like the list I had sent to Blaze. Um, First things first, we need to start requiring at least semi-frequent reports from the treasurer or auditor on the pirate party's finances. We haven't heard basically anything on the party's finances from them in forever. Like, I have no clue. I don't know who here has a clue on what the party's financial situation is.
Yeah, that's a good point. Although I will counter that and say I would like to have some reports out of every committee officer, not just auditor and treasurer. You know, I mean anyone that can send a report, I should say. So like if Swarm Care has something they wanted to send me, if Lookout had something they wanted to send me, if Treasurer and Auditor had something they wanted to send me, like Blaze, I don't know if you'd have anything you'd have to send me in terms of a report. So like I wouldn't expect something from you, but it would be in the same vein of like expecting if you guys have like a report to give, absolutely it should be sent before the meeting. And when it comes to something as important as Treasurer and Auditor, you're right, that is something that we should at least have a quarterly report on. Uh, so duly noted. I will reach out to Darren about that, and then Blaze, go ahead.
We are still talking about financial reporting, right?
Yeah, we're
Okay.
yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, because we do have our own. We've gotten like donations and stuff like that, so we can send reports like bank or something like that to like the treasurer as soon as possible. You know, any sort of.
I'm not really talking about state parties' finances because that's kind of a state party's own business. I'm talking about the national party's finances.
Okay, fair enough. Fair enough. Just trying to clarify what we're trying to establish here.
Yeah, basically, it's just like we have a donate button on our website. I couldn't tell you where that money's going. And that's kind of the problem.
Is there even any money?
To my understanding,
Yeah.
there is money. To my understanding, we had to actually put in some money because there was a charge that got us in rougher shape. So we had to get a donation from myself and two other pirates. Whose anonymity I will protect. However, I will say that there isn't enough money to be like, oh, if you guys need help fundraising, we'll send this money your way. Uh, but right now, I couldn't give you a number how much money is actually in the treasure chest, I guess, so to speak. I don't know what we would say is like our goal. Because I'll be honest with you, as necessary as it is, I hate the idea of fundraising. I hate asking people for money on hand and knee. You know, I'm not the Democratic Party sending me $5 emailers. I got a shit ton from Graham Planter too. I have no idea how that guy got my email. He's running for senator in Maine. Uh, but beside the point, it's incredible how easy it is for some people to try to fundraise and how some people like myself just hate it. But that said, the funds that we have, we should know about. I will ask Darren to be at least more semi-regular, or at least ask Darren if he could come. I guess whatever the first quarter would be, but I think sooner than that. Let's see if I can get him to come in and discuss finances a little bit. Blaze, go ahead.
I will just say this: that treasurer listening is the one who has to be the most available and communicate the most. And if there's or the auditor, both of them need to be able to communicate and be available the most often. Because if they're not, we have these situations. And if they're not communicating or available, then we're gonna have to ask some hard questions.
Absolutely. You're right, Blaze. Thank you. And it should be noted that those hard questions, and again, whatever you guys make, my position as leader is to enforce your will, not to enforce my will. However, this is just throwing it out there that the conference is less than 4 months away. Now, folks, I'm not saying that to convince you all of anything. I'm more saying that as a plug. Folks, June 6th and 7th, 2026, we're going to be in Boston, Massachusetts. It is the 20th anniversary of the United States Pirate Party. We are electing a new board. We do that every year, and this year is going to be 20 years of the United States Pirate Party. We were founded on June 6, 2006. 666 for those old enough to remember. But it is 20 years, and that's nothing to scoff at. That's nothing to look at and be like, oh, that's nothing. That's something. You see a lot of projects started and finished within months or years of it taking off. So the fact that we've been able to survive 20 years, the fact that we've been able to elect people in local offices, and the fact that we're continuing to fight to elect people is an important task. And a part of that important task is making sure you have the right people in the right places doing the right jobs. So come June 6th, no matter what our decision is prior to June 6th, we're going to make sure to elect a proper treasurer, a proper auditor, proper everything, and that includes a proper captain. So folks, just make sure that come June 6th, pay attention to the Pirate Party. Make sure that you're getting involved because you want the right people in the right positions for the party that's right for you. And we're not politicians, we're your neighbors. We want to do right by you. Anything else we wanted to discuss today? Wanda, go ahead.
I also wanted to bring up restarting the press committee and some ideas that were presented to me about that.
Go ahead.
So the idea that was given to me is that we should restart the press committee. It should be headed by the captain of the party and maybe vice chaired by the director of PR. And that once the press committee is restarted, one of the things they can work on is like guidelines for press releases and like professional language for them, stuff like that.
So basically kind of like making templates for news and when we release things, make sure that people know like, hey, if you ever take on this role, this is how we do it. If you wanted to build something, this is like the blueprint for it. Is that kind of like what you're suggesting?
Kind of, and like it could also serve as like kind of like rapid response for like if something big happens, the press committee can like meet on short notice, discuss it, and put out something for it.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. For what it's worth, I would like to get a press committee going because number one, I think the more committees we have with things to do every week, that would be completely beneficial to us. We had the IT committee, and it's a shame that it's going to be, delayed for the next few weeks or for the foreseeable future. But when I got started here, I know I've said this 100 times. We had the Pirate National Committee meeting, and then we had the Outreach Committee meeting on Sundays and Tuesdays, respectively. And it really helps people feel like they're doing something within the party, building the party up and doing things that matter through the vehicle of the party, which is perhaps more important than anything. So I agree. I think that if we can hang on 1 second, that's better. I think if we can work towards getting a press committee going, if we have the platform committee, the IT committee, the press committee, the outreach committee, and then we have this on Sundays, we don't need 5 days plus Sunday. If we have committees active where people feel like they can get involved, do things that matter, contribute, that's important. Plus, with the press committee, I would like to see more articles for the Message in a Bottle series. I would like to see more people, I just want to see more content in general, and that's just it's a good vehicle for people to get involved. Not everyone wants to get involved with the Pirate National Committee and get in the nitty gritty of actually doing the business on like the big stage. People may get nervous being on YouTube live stream, whatever the case may be. However, I do think that it's important that anyone that wants to get involved in the party, if they don't feel comfortable volunteering, if they don't feel comfortable doing work on the ground, at least give them something they can do behind a computer screen. And that's still a powerful tool that many people are influenced by. So that's a good point. I do think we need a press committee. All that to say, yeah, if we want to get a press committee going, if you think that I need to have an intimate hand in it, I'm more than happy to get involved. As it is, I do almost the entirety of all the posts on the website right now. So anyone that wants to start getting involved, in, by all means, please join the press committee and we'll get you involved. Plus, I've got templates like the In Case You Missed It template. If we could eventually have someone post the In Case You Missed It outside of the captain so we know it gets posted every week, that'd be phenomenal. There's plenty of tasks that the press committee could take up, and there's plenty that we could do. So, great idea, Wanda. And I'm not going to ask who's next because I know you got something else. So go ahead.
Okay, well, one more thing. So a person in our Discord the other day asked about the party's position on abolishing ICE, and like I felt like I felt like it was pretty clear, but I mean, you can never be too clear. So I just wanted to put that out there.
I'm gonna be perfectly honest with you. I think that their question it perplexed me a little bit because what group or organization calls another group or organization terrorists and then turns around and says, but let's keep them around though. It feels perplexing to me. I don't know why they would think that, we wouldn't be in favor of abolishing ICE. We already called them domestic terrorists, and we already had 2 news articles written about us calling them domestic terrorists. So I think it's pretty self-evident personally. However, if we needed to clarify, I'm more than happy to, but I don't think it requires like a public statement or anything like that, just
No,
because
I wasn't
it's
saying that. I just wanted to make sure we were all clear on that.
no, yeah, I did see the comments and it really left me confused because, who calls something a terrorist organization and then turns around and says, but fuck yeah, I'm for it. Jester than Drew.
I mean, this is the same thing that happened. I find it quite funny how we had a similar situation to the DNC the past few weeks, considering, and how even among Democratic polling, the abolishment of ICE has gone up so much that, for reference, 10 months ago, abolishing ICE was polling at maybe 20% popularity with all Democratic voters. As of 2 weeks ago, current polling suggests that upwards of half of Democratic voters are in favor of abolishing ICE. And I think that this sort of immediately go backing on it from the DNC is sort of emblematic of their lack of ability to actually pursue policy, and themselves are just slaves to the corporate overlords that control the GOP as well. And I think this is just more shows even more how we need groups like us to stand up to this nonsense and be like, we should do this because the people want it. Let us give them what they want.
It's incredible that big money donor in any other country would be rightfully called bribery. I can't go against the guy that bribes me. Sorry. He pays me to vote a certain way. Drew, go ahead.
I just my position on ICE is that what we have now needs to be abolished, and the real enforcement of immigration laws and customs should be with people with clipboards, not with assault rifles. I don't know if that I don't know why that isn't a reasonable position. If, I mean, it is saying we need to abolish ICE because they're a rogue freaking bunch of thugs, but I don't know.
I mean, it's true enough, Drew, and I think that the reason that people have a hard time understanding that or just coming to that natural conclusion is that we have a organization that is funded with the express consent of stopping a quote unquote invasion of illegal immigrants. When you use militarized language, it's militarized justification for people. It's the same reason that we have a war on
Yep.
crime.
Me-
Well, if we have a war on crime, we have to fight with militarized weapons. It's a war. It's the war on drugs. We have to fight crack cocaine usage with, military
Missiles
grade
into boats.
weapons. Yeah. It's we have to kill narco terrorists instead of, sovereign Venezuelan citizens. It's insane. We didn't try them for nothing. We can't call them narco terrorists without a try. Whatever. Rowan, go ahead.
Hello. Oh no, I just wanted to say I'm speaking for myself here, not any state party or the national party. I'd be very surprised to find a single pirate who actually supports ICE. I'm just gonna say that if there's a pirate out there who supports the actions of what they're doing right now, it would shock me a little bit personally.
Yes, and to be clear, under my administration, and I don't put my foot down on a lot, but I did post in the condemnation of the pirate parties about, or condemnation of the domestic terrorist organization known as ICE. I said that if this is exactly what you voted for and you support the actions of ICE, you are not welcome in this party. There's no place for you on this ship. And I made that perfectly clear. So if you are watching this and you find yourself sympathetic to ICE somehow, some way, fuck you. Jester, go ahead.
I was gonna say, like, given the videos that we saw come out of Minneapolis, the only ice we should support is the black ice that the agents kept slipping on.
Amen.
Yeah, I could say boo, get off the stage, but I won't.
Ah, anyways, is there anything we wanted to tackle today or get in line for the next meeting? Because again, we will be live streamed like we are supposed to be next week. And then it'll be business as usual. But Blaze, go ahead.
One thing I did forget, state party wise, is that since we're almost a year since we founded ourselves, we're gonna have our own state elections on April 27th is the projected date, and we plan to have nominations open in March. We'll figure out how to get there to that point, but hopefully, yeah, we're gonna have our elections for the new board on April 27th.
That's great news. Thank you, Blaze. Well, that's wonderful. Is there anything else we want to bring up, talk about, discuss, gripe, complain, whine about, anything? Frank, go ahead.
Yes, I just wanted to know if everyone has heard about what Discord is planning on doing regarding ID and age verification and whatnot, and what that might imply for our party's ability to organize and maintain infrastructure on their service.
I did see that. Obviously, it's troubling to say the least. I think it's going to necessitate maybe not a move, so to speak, because we have so many supporters and so much value in our Discord. However, I think alternate meeting places are going to have to take place, or at least alternate apps or applications. I know that there's Discord clones that are essentially identical but wouldn't have the same, I guess, baggage is the word that I'm looking for. Uh, but I have seen it. I obviously don't want anyone to put their privacy at risk in order to join the pirate party. That's not what that's the exact opposite of what we want for people. So it is something that we saw. It is something that's needing discussions about how to address it. If they end up going through with it, there may be not a mass migration, but a suggestion to start migrating elsewhere. And then if there is a suggestion, we'll let everyone know what's going on, where we're going, how we're going to tackle it. But I don't think we're moving away from Discord just yet. But if their measures do go into place, I think we're going to be protecting the interests of pirate supporters and trying to protect their privacy above all else. It would probably remain a public Discord for supporters of the party, but it may cease being where we do major business or organization. And I'm only saying that now without being certain of it. However, it is, if Discord is such a privacy stealing area, then of course I can see, massive problems with remaining there as a pro-privacy party. But Blaze, go ahead.
To pile dog on that, that was actually a big point of discussion for the in-person meeting about how we go forward with the new Discord thing, uh, being what it is for privacy rights. And Dustin, our citizen, brought up the idea of Matrix, which is something he introduced to me. I can't properly describe it very well. If you want to learn more about it, he probably can give you a better description than I can. But basically, the way I understand it, it is a pricing system, but it's a very, very good bridge between Discord and Matrix. So that's something we are considering. You're muted, Mitch.
Fuck. Thank you, Blaze. Obviously, I've heard of Matrix. I don't know much about it, but I will look into it. Any alternative at this point is a good alternative. Jester, go ahead.
Just wanted to bring up this small side note, but it should be acknowledged that the third-party company that Discord is planning on working with to enable this AI age verification nonsense is in fact having connections to Peter motherfucking Thiel. For those of you who don't know, he's the head of Palantir, a
Of course
company
he is.
named for the named for an thing in what's it called, Lord of the Rings, which is literally the evil spying system that the evil guy uses to spy on everyone's thoughts. But yeah, and also Peter Thiel wants to end democracy, so maybe we, make sure your outrage is expressed to Discord support, and repeatedly call them or email them. Make them suffer.
Also, for those of you who may or may not be in the know, JD Vance is a Peter Thiel acolyte. So if you want your privacy, voting Republican in the 2028 election is certainly the last thing you want to do. Just throwing that out there when JD Vance is named the nominee for the GOP. Well, thank you guys. There's something else that I wanted to mention, and it's escaping me. Blaze, you know what it was? It was the comments that was left about New Mexico. There was a question presented to us about the New Mexico Senate race. I don't think we have anything relevant that we could say about it. However, the Republican candidate that was supposed to be the nominee was disqualified because he didn't make the requirements. And apparently, there is no other challenger except for one third party, which isn't even a real party based on the looks of it. So I don't know if we don't have anyone in New Mexico. So I don't think there's
Yeah.
anything we could really suggest. But
That's
go ahead, Liz.
that's one thing I really would like for Arizona to try and outreach to New Mexico and see what we can do. Obviously, we're probably not going to do anything for that election since we don't have anybody right now. But that's New Mexico was obviously like it was perfect for us, in my opinion, in more ways than one to outreach and get a party started there. But we'll see. Obviously, yeah.
Absolutely, thank you. And yeah, obviously it'd be a natural fit. I know I had an easier time getting the Indiana Pirates going, once the Illinois Pirates were going. So hopefully you can find the same success as Arizona. But I'm gonna restart the stream real quick. Give me 1 second.
People we could get on just chatting.
Okay, we're back. But yeah, so I guess I bring it up only because it's an opportunity for a minor party. If the Republicans are going to be disqualified, that means we're going to see a minor party able to come up. I suppose the best way we could do it. Have a good night, Blaze. Thank you. I suppose the best way we could do it is simply ask if the Greens or even the Libertarians are running someone for Senate, and see if we wanted to back their candidacy. Obviously, we are not compelled to do so in any way, but with there only being one old party candidate, I think it'd be worth exploring the opportunity to, cross endorse and hopefully boost up someone that isn't a old power. Otherwise, since we are losing people and we are getting to the point where it's been almost an hour of the meeting, I think we're just about good, and I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
Seconded.
Fantastic. And do I have any objections from the board? I'm hearing none. Well, folks, thank you so much for attending tonight's meeting. It's truly been a pleasure, including you, the gentleman from Southern Michigan. I see you in our comments. We will be back on live stream next week. The link that you guys joined on tonight is not the link that we use for the live stream. It'll be a different link. It will be sent to you properly. It will not be posted in the Discord comment section. So we will make sure that everyone gets their link that attends the committee meetings. We are looking for volunteers from every state, but especially if you're from Illinois, Arizona, North Carolina, West Virginia, we are especially looking for help there. Obviously, we're always looking for help in any member state. So if you're from Pennsylvania, Ohio, Texas, anywhere, please feel free to come in and give us a helping hand. The June 6th, June 7th, 2026 Pirate National Conference will be in Boston, Massachusetts. We will have at least part of the conference on the USS Constitution because we promised a boat and we give a boat. Finally, Drew, you know why I love this party? I love this party because we believe the United States should be a good neighbor. We believe in cool, clean water, like Hank said. And by golly, we believe if purchasing isn't ownership, well, then piracy isn't theft.
Took you a moment.
It did. I almost lost it there, but I got it. So, folks, thank you so much for tuning in. We'll be back next week. Vote pirate, and victory is ours. Folks, have a great rest of your night.